Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, happy Friday. Things are kind of boring today, but I'm going to make the best of it. I'm going to bring some good crypto news for you guys and also show you this pattern for Bitcoin that looks very, very similar from the last bull run. So does that mean we're going to have the same kind of finish in 2021 as we had in 2017? Maybe. All right, guys, let's do this. Thanks for tuning in. As always, smash up the like, subscribe to the channel. 2 streams almost every day, except tonight, 11:30 and 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, but not tonight since it's Friday. But make sure you hit that notification bell and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and check out all the latest news, articles, and guides at CryptosRUs.com. Welcome, guys. Welcome. I'm feeling good. I don't know about you guys. All right, altcoins took a little retracement today, I think. But overall, we're still kind of hovering. Bitcoin is 47.6, a little bit below 48. So what happened today? Why is it not going up? I think the big thing is today we had $200 million worth of Bitcoin options. So today was an options expiration day. So options, there's basically expiration every week, and you could argue almost every single day. Some quite small volume, some bigger. But the big one will be next Friday, not this Friday. Next Friday is the last Friday of the month, and you have huge Bitcoin options expirations and huge Bitcoin futures expirations. So next Friday will be interesting. But for now, this could be the reason why things have not moved yet. But we are moving into this weekend, and for the last few months, weekends have been pretty darn good, starting on Fridays. Right, so later tonight, we could see pretty good movement, and Saturday and Sunday, we can see it. If it follows the same pattern as the last few months. But the last few months also saw weakness, or we saw weakness from Monday through Thursday. But this time around, not so much. Monday to Thursday, we actually saw a pretty good rise. So, will it be the same? Will it be different? We'll have to see. But what is very, very similar is the pattern that we are on right now. And of course, thanks to Bitcoin Archive, who correlated the two, you could take a look. Yeah, there's some deviation, some local tops that didn't happen in 2017, but you could see the local bottoms matched almost identically, right? From the peak right here on, peak of 2017 coming down to the bottom, you could see that pretty much followed identically. Now, we did have this 14,000 kind of run, and that was in 2019. So that was a little deviation, right? But then, of course, we fell down, and you could see the local bottoms are matching exactly. Recently, we also had a pretty good run up to 64,000, came back down, right? But we are exactly at the same place. Same place as in 2017, right before the crazy, massive exploding run that we had in the last few months of the year. I'm talking about October, November, December 2017. That is when we had that blow off top event, and that's when Bitcoin went to the moon and everything else went to the moon with it. All the altcoins, a lot of them went up 10, 20, 50, 100x. But yeah, if you look at the two patterns on top of each other, right? Yes, we had a few blow-off tops, or local tops, I should say. That's a little bit different, but the pattern is still very, very similar. So are we going to see that? If we do mimic it, then Bitcoin should hit around 254,000. And this correlates to Plan B's stock-to-flow X model, not the stock-to-float. He has an X model that also predicts that Bitcoin will be around 254,000. And many others have all called this too. My gut is we're going to be above 100,000, absolutely. And then after that, I think it's going to really depend on FOMO. If there's a lot of institutions and companies that are FOMOing in, then yes, we will be driven much higher to like 254,000. But if it's still slow and steady uprise, then we could settle between 100 and 150,000. I think that's pretty reasonable. So this is coming. It's exciting. Q4, last 3 months of the year, October, November, December. It was already predicted by many that September was going to be somewhat of a weak month. And I mean, to be quite frank, it's not that weak. We hit 52,000 only a few weeks ago, right? So now we're only a little bit lower. But ultimately, I mean, we've basically just been going sideways for September. And September was supposed to be a weak month. But Bitcoin is strong. The community is strong. And there's just a lot more buying these days. So if we just simply hold here, if we could crack 50 and maintain that going into October, that will be fantastic. That will be absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. What else is there? Here's an analyst that's saying the next stop for Bitcoin is at $85,000 unless there's a significant bad news event. And the one that I've been hearing a lot of people talk about is Evergreen or Evergrande from China. It's a big development company, real estate development company, and I think they have $300 billion worth of mortgage or notes that they may default on, and people think it could be a Lehman Brothers event of China. You know what? What I'm thinking about is this, okay? China is going to do what they can to make sure they avert disaster, okay? It's one of their own. They don't want to look like fools on the grand stage, right? They don't want to look like fools and have this implosion happen within their own backyards. So if something disastrous happens where they really do default, I bet you the CCP is going to come in and just take care of that. So I'm actually not thinking that's going to be an event at all. It's very different than how it was with Lehman Brothers in the U.S. in a free capitalist environment is very, very different than one that's pretty much state-run and state-controlled. So a lot of fear over that. I'm thinking it's going to be a zero event. There's no way China is going to let that implosion happen and bring down everything else with it. There's zero way, okay? That $300 billion to China is meaningless. It's zero. They can print that out of thin air and take care of that in a second. So, I mean, the significant bad news event by this analyst, I just don't see what it is. It could be a stock market correction. It could be real estate correction. It could be something like that. But then again, it may not come because of all the money that's being printed, not just in China, but in the U.S. and everywhere else, right? So I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be a significant bad news event that's going to be coming. But if there isn't, even the TA says that Bitcoin is going higher. And the next stop afterwards, after breaking 50,000, in fact, is not 64,000. It's not 70,000. In fact, it's $85,000. Pretty good. Pretty darn good. What else is good? Well, there's more and more companies that continue to buy Bitcoin. Ultimately, the reason why Bitcoin goes up is because people are buying it, right? So obviously, MicroStrategy has been buying a ton of Bitcoin recently, and I've heard this morning it was reported that Grayscale now owns even more. So Grayscale, I don't know if this is the accurate number or not, but according to this website, Grayscale owns about 654,000 Bitcoins. That's 31 billion. That's locked in right there. The Bitcoin Trust cannot sell Bitcoins. They're trying to convert to ETFs, and at that point, maybe they will consider selling it. But right now, this is locked in. And this is considered over 3% of the total supply. Total supply, not even circulating supply. This is out of 21 million, and 21 million Bitcoins doesn't exist. It's about 19 million. So this is actually a bigger number. So this number continues to go up, and of course, Michael Saylor's own goes up. It's over $5.4 billion, and Tesla and everyone else, right? So ultimately, this number just keeps growing. So this is what's happening, right? This is why Bitcoin reserves keeps dropping, because these big boys continue to buy, and there's a lot more companies that's not on the list. Not everyone is forthcoming in terms of releasing their information about how much Bitcoin's owned or how much they bought or if they even hold any. Now it seems like it's more, I don't know, it's more it's more trendy to say that you own Bitcoin, I guess, right? Back then, it's like, no, you can't talk about Bitcoin. But now it seems like people have loosened up, companies have loosened up, and they're starting to come out left and right. So, yeah, this is also moving in the right direction. Let me see here. Jeff, I have no idea what strong is, so I can't comment on it. Someone says stock market looking a little sketchy. I agree. Stock market is not looking good. It's not moving at all. So yeah, I don't know about stocks, but crypto is still looking pretty darn good right now. What else is there? Maxim says thoughts on everyone searching for ETH killer when Zilliqa has been copied by Harmony, Elrond, MTV, ETH 2.0 themselves, while Cardano, Solana struggle at the basic stages. See, like, you started out good, and then you end up being really bad, okay? Just because there's another chain that does sharding does not mean they copied. And these other chains have different consensus and different ways of handling nodes and speeds. So Zilliqa is a fine project, but when you start bashing everyone else, that's when you look like a fool and you actually look very insecure. So Maxim, don't do that. If you do, no one's going to take you seriously. I appreciate the super chat. And you could have just said, yes, you believe in Zilliqa, but instead you try to bash everyone else, and it just makes it look bad. And it makes other Zilliqa holders look bad too. So don't do it. Don't do it. Jeff, thank you. All right, now moving on. Speaking of some of these ETH killers, okay, there's not a whole lot more to talk about on Bitcoin, other than Michael Saylor, of course, being more bullish. Of course, he just keeps getting more and more bullish. I mean, I think you guys heard of this example or a comparison between gold and Bitcoin, and basically gold is not moving, hasn't moved for a decade, yet Bitcoin has continued to go up and up and up and up and up to the moon, right? So I agree. You can't debate this. You really can't. You could say 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, maybe. There's a deviation, but over 10 years, 12 years, I mean, it's really hard to debate that, right? It's really hard to debate that. All right. I have not tried DeFi Kingdoms. I've looked at it. It looks promising, but that's the only thing. I haven't used it. Can't tell you any more than that. All right. So, speaking of Harmony, which DeFi Kingdoms is running on, they did announce this, a 300 million plus on bounties, grants, and DAOs. So Harmony is very serious about bringing more projects, DeFi projects, NFT projects, any kind of projects, right? Launch pads, whatever, stable coins, basically anything to come on board. And this is the right way to do it. We heard Avalanche do this before, recently, right? We heard Solana do this recently. Harmony is doing this. We heard Phantom doing this recently, and it's been really well received, right? It's a lot of money, and it does bring a lot of new innovations, new dApps aboard. So this is fantastic for Harmony. There could be a lot more good stuff coming. What else is there? Speaking of Avalanche, their Rush program, which is, of course, also incentivizing DeFi projects to come on board. Kyber. Some of you guys are aware of Kyber. Kyber is a DEX. And they have joined, among many other DeFi projects already, like Sushi and Aave and Curve, right? So there's a lot more that have joined, and there's probably more to be joined. So, I mean, yeah, this is really popular. And as a protocol, why not? Protocols are worth billions of billions. They have a lot of money on hand, right? And the best way to incentivize more dApps is to just have programs and just give incentive for these dApps to come on board. What else is there? Well, how there's a lot of scrutiny around lending companies like Coinbase from the SEC, BlockFi from some of the states. Well, it's looking like Celsius is not immune too. So the Texas security regulator also adds Celsius to its crypto lending crosshairs. So just so you know, this doesn't mean that they're ordering a cease and desist. It's the same thing that they ordered BlockFi to do, which is basically appear in court and basically just, make their case, whether or not they're selling securities without being registered. But look at this. To quote the Texas State Securities Board Enforcement Director Joseph I'm not trying to put the company out of business or shutter its doors. Instead, I recognize digital assets and blockchain technology are paving new ways for exciting new opportunities and new financial services. We're simply trying to get Celsius in compliance with law so it can continue to operate legally, legitimately, while protecting its clients and their assets, right? So it doesn't seem like they're all gung-ho, at least, well, not according to this quote, that they're trying to shut everyone down, but it just seems like they want more information. Or maybe they just want them to be registered so they could tax them better. You know, I think ultimately what all this comes down to is taxing. What they want to do is make sure that they get their appropriate share, the states, and I think that's ultimately what it is. Okay, I don't know. I could be wrong, but it always comes down to money, and do they get a cut, right? So it seems like every lending company out there is starting to get more, scrutiny over the regulators. What else is there? Cardano, you guys are Cardano fans. 2,300 Cardano smart contracts are waiting in time lock. I don't even get that. Okay, so some of you guys may be more familiar with Cardano, but it does seem like you have all these smart contracts in time lock, and they're going to be released one at a time, right? I've said when Cardano finally gets getting done and smart contracts, there'll be like an avalanche, okay, of smart contract plays and DeFi plays and all these, plays that's coming aboard. DeFi seems like people are still trying to figure it out, right? How do you get around the concurrency issue? So we haven't seen any big DeFi plays that is already out and working. But it seems like there's 23 other 100 projects that's waiting. I don't know what the specifications for the time lock is, whether or not it's the team that approves or there's a certain time. I'm assuming time lock, there's a certain time you have to wait. I don't know what that time is. But it just seems like there is a lot of projects that's coming aboard. I bought Luna because of you yesterday on Gemini. Should I wait for a pullback for another purchase? Can AMP hit $1? That's the whole thing with DCA. Just set a schedule so you don't have to time it, right? Do it if you really do like Luna, I do. Just set a schedule for yourself. Every 2 weeks, every month, something like that. Or if we have some huge kind of correction, then sure, take advantage of it. But, don't try to think too hard upon it. Like when you should time a bottom and so forth. It's too hard to do that. All right, what other super chats did I miss? Please zoom in when you have articles, tweets, etc. Love your, this is already zoomed in, man. I can't zoom in and out on every single article. I mean, I think this is pretty zoomed in. I mean, this headline is pretty big, so I don't know. Maybe when I'm reading, is that what you're saying? But yeah, I'm still probably not gonna do that. What do you think about Hedera right now? Have you seen the news from yesterday? Someone sent me. I have one of my researchers, and I have like thousands of researchers, by the way. No, I'm just kidding. I just have a few people. He sent me something about Hedera. There's some big things seems like Hedera is working on. So it looks very promising. In fact, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. So people think that I hate Hedera. I don't. I even interviewed Mance before. I just think they're structured a little bit different. So it's not really open source like some of these other projects, but that doesn't mean they can't do well. All right, so according to my researcher, the governance council is going to allocate $5 billion in HBAR. It got listed on KuCoin recently. Staking and sharding, both big things, will be implemented by the end of 2021. And even Prime Minister Trudeau of Canada, during a CNBC interview, talked about Hedera. I missed that one. So they got some exciting things coming up, Arthur. So, let's see. I'm Neutron, Nervos. I don't know. Their interoperability play. The only good thing is they have this bridge with Cardano. So whether or not that's really going to help them grow, I don't know. It's great for Cardano. I don't know if it's going to help Nervos that much. Sweet Street Dogs. What NFTs do you own? I own nothing. Nothing. It sounds like you're creating your own Street Dogs NFTs. You know what? I hope you do well. Email me if you want to talk. Radex. I have not looked at Radex today. The longer it takes for the next rally, this is according to Football Spain, the better. Next time to buy and discount. Hopefully nothing until 2022. The thing is, get a bigger phone, bro. I think a lot of you guys are watching me on the phone, which is why it's small. But if you're watching on a computer, it's actually really, really, really big. But anyways, I lost track. Oh yeah, about the blow off top. Like, yeah, obviously if we have a blow off top, it's great short term, but that usually it comes down afterwards, right? But if we have a slow and steady uprise with Bitcoin and everything else, we could push way into 2022. Maybe this 4-year cycle thing goes away. We could still have corrections, 20, 30, 40, 50% corrections, but then we continue further and we could just keep going and going and going. That is a possibility. That definitely is a possibility. Lastly, for Cardano, Dfinity founder, ICP, calls out Cardano, makes fun of Cardano's Africa relationships. So you can see here, Dominic says, I'm going to zoom in here. Here's zooming in for you guys. He responded to someone about, doing vlogs, about society issues and social impact and, issues in Africa and stuff like that. And Dominic says, yes, but, social impact blockchain will derive from technology involved, not claiming to help Africa. Love the Cardano sales machine, though. It's amazingly successful. Sounds like he's a little jelly there of Charles and Cardano. And Charles, of course, answered back, claiming to help Africa get rich quick. Seriously, that's a pretty low blow. Valley has been rotting your brain. So Charles did not like that. And, of course, Charles always answers back in his own way. I don't get it. Again, you don't need to bash others to make yourself look good. And especially if you're a leader, be humble about it, right? You gain nothing. ICP and Dominic gains nothing by trying to bash Cardano. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just be courteous and be humble. Okay, anyways, I'm just going to leave it at that. There's no good that could come from it. Anyways, what else is there? Could exchanges be the influencers with the price drop? Can they sell BTC high, accumulate more? They could. I mean, I always theorize why we have like these sudden drops, like this. Why it just happens and who benefits from it, right? You can claim that whales benefit from it. Yes, they could buy cheap, they could liquidate, they can have shorts, at the time and make a lot of money, but also the exchanges make money. Regardless if you get liquidated or not, they collect their fees, right? So this, I've always speculated, maybe the exchanges are on it. Maybe they're the ones. They could see all the order books, right? They know exactly how much to liquidate and how much to drop. I've always speculated that. We won't know, but that's another reason why, to support DEXs. DEXs are still early. The liquidity is just not there yet, but it's so much better now in 2021 versus, say, 2017, 2018, when DEXs were around, but there was zero liquidity. Now they've gotten a lot better, but still lacks the liquidity of centralized exchanges. But if we keep supporting it, going to the future, DEXs could definitely replace centralized exchanges one day. All right, what else is there? I don't know. Mario and CTX and Axia protocol. I don't know those. All right, speaking of Cardano, I do have a new channel partner, and this is very simple. It is Nedscave, and this is just a stake pool operator. But this one is a little bit bigger than the last one I partner up with, and they're around the world. In fact, they run 4 different pools. One in Ohio, one in London, one in Frankfurt, and one for Sydney. This is actually, they actually have, I actually pulled up the records. Oh, no. So the biggest one they have is in, I think this one is in Ohio with 36 million stake, and then they have one that's 12 million and two that's relatively small. But Nedscave operates just like all other Cardano pools. Their yield's about the same, about 5%, but what it comes down to is, can you trust them, right? Can they operate smoothly? Do they have a 24/7, uptime? And, Nedscave does have that. They use AWS with 99.95 service level agreement, right? With multiple relay architecture for optimum staking and network performance is the reason why they have 4 pools, right? Free real-time monitoring of the cluster servers, which is here. You could see all the information you ever want is displayed for you in real time. And just like all other pools, right? Nedscave allows you to stake your Cardano within 2 different wallets, the Delis wallet and the Yori. I don't know how to pronounce that. Yori wallet. And you never have to give up your Cardano. I hear that you could even do it from your ledger, right? So if you do that, you're in control of your own ADA. You don't have to worry about anything happening to it. So if you guys are interested in staking Cardano, getting that 5% yield back, right? Since you're holding anyways, you believe in this future, why not get some yield from it? Staking a pool and power the network, which right now has 72%. Close to 72% of all ADA is staked in a pool that's similar to Nedscave. So think about that, right? There is definitely a lot of believers in ADA. So check them out if you want to stake your Cardano. All right. I do have one other channel sponsor, and this may be one that you guys will be interested in. This is Altfins. And this is something that actually a project I covered before. Altfins basically makes trading easy. I know most of you guys watching me, you're holders, right? You don't really care about day-to-day volatility. But some of you guys are curious. You're curious about the patterns. You're curious about TA, right? You may want to know when is a good buying opportunity or good selling opportunity. That is what Altfins is. There's all these patterns. It's all tracked, and basically the system, the algorithm will figure out the trading patterns that you may have heard of before. So for example, I'm logged in right now. You can see there's a horizontal resistance, horizontal support, ascending triangle, descending triangle. It all maps it out for you, right? So you don't have to learn your own TA, or you don't have to rely on anyone else's. You can simply select and it will show you which crypto is following what. And besides that, you can just type in your favorite crypto and see what's going on. For example, if you type in ETH, you could see that there's a couple of patterns. Here's one that shows you that, hey, Ethereum may be in a falling wedge. And right now, if it breaks out of that, there could be a profit potential of 132%. But there's other patterns also. I mean, you could put in, I don't know, there's a lot of like Avalanche, let's see, Atom. Here's one, there's a breakout pattern for Atom. Let's do BNB, nothing, BTC. Here's one potential profit. It's in a channel, a trading channel, that profit potential of 3%. So you could basically, if you have any kind of crypto that you like, you could search your pattern, right, and see if it's a buying opportunity, a selling opportunity. And they also have their own curated charts, which is done up by a person or a team within Altfins. For example, here's one for Avalanche, and this is basically, all the indicators and metrics added together, telling you if it's bullish or bearish. In this case, for Avalanche, it's bullish, right? And there's a lot more to it. There's a screener, watch this, alert, news. I mean, for news is actually very interesting. So news, it will actually search all of Twitter. I know a lot of you guys are on Twitter all the time, and you're like, what's the latest news on Bitcoin, right? You could just search in here and you do Bitcoin. It will search Twitter for you and give you a breakdown of all the tweets that relate. For Bitcoin, it's easy. But let's say you want to learn about Solana, right? You type in Solana and it'll tell you all the news that relates to Solana. from every single source out there, from individuals, from publications, and so forth. So this news thing is also actually very interesting as well. So there you go. That's Altfins. So they are also channel partners. So throughout the next month, I'm going to be maybe utilizing some of their patterns and charts. I just got to show you guys what's going on. If you're interested, check them out too. Their URL is in the description of this video. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. Today is a pretty calm and cool day. Not a whole lot of news, kind of hovering right now. Some of the altcoins took a step back. You can see Bitcoin dominance did rise up a little bit, right? But we could be seeing some good things happening this weekend. All right, let's do some Q&A. Jorge, why no one care about Solana's outage? That was the big news that everyone talked about the last few days. It's just you didn't watch it. Stop trying to blame everyone else saying that no one cared. And the reason why it happened, and it wasn't just them, both Solana, Arbitrum, and even Ethereum, they were all attacked. Solana, they utilized a vulnerability, which basically is actually a good thing for them. Because it's feeless, the bots were able to spam the network. And they spammed it up to 300,000 transactions per second. 300,000. No other chain out there can handle anything close to that. Or I think it was 400,000. So they have fixed that. Make sure that that won't happen. And life moves on. Just like all other chains, they had their hiccups. Ethereum, early on, they had a big DAO hack. And guess what? They moved past it, right? So stop trying to spread FUD, Jorge. Do I collect NFTs? I've been saying that for so long. Like, I need to get NFTs, I get NFTs. But there's so many collections coming out, like every single day. And there's so many marketplaces, Solana Art and OpenSea and CNFT. I mean, there's so many. I don't know which ones to get into. It's actually nerve-wracking. I guess it's kind of like with crypto. A lot of you guys getting in, you're like not sure about which crypto, right? It's the same doing NFTs. I understand the concept. I just don't know which ones to really get in on. Obviously, if you go with the big boys, like, I don't know, like Degenerative Apes or Cyberpunks, it's a sure thing, but you're paying so much for it. Nicole, I'm working on a huge project. Sure, email it to me. No guarantees I'll answer though. There's too many people, too many projects that are too early stage. I'm not gonna cover it. So, but feel free to email me. No, I did not buy Audi. No. VPunks is cheap now. Is it really cheap? I mean, it got up. You know, the base was like 10,000, 11,000 vet, right? So I don't know if it got lower or not. I was gifted a VPunk. There's a learning curve for VPunks to get it on the VThor wallet, but it's not that steep. Basically, you need to just go to the marketplace from your VChain Thor wallet. Then you could see it in there. But VChain, has VPunks, have VimWorld, right, or Vims. So those are the two that I know of. I haven't heard of like a third or fourth, out there, and I haven't heard of like a de facto NFT marketplace within VChain. So, I think one will come out soon. What do you think is more accurate? Logarithmic regression covered by Ben Cohen or stock to flow? They're both measuring the same thing. Here, I'll show you what it is. So if you go to a site called Look into Bitcoin and you look at Bitcoin charts, there's one that is called logarithmic growth curve, right? And Ben, I think, tweaks it and calls it logarithmic regression, but it's basically the same thing. Basically, it plots out Bitcoin since its beginning till now, right? And you can see there's it's within this channel, and the regression part is that there's diminishing returns, right? As Bitcoin gets bigger, it can't possibly have the same kind of returns. So if you look at this, the top end of this is like $130,000, $140,000. So according to this, by the end of the cycle, Bitcoin will be around 130, 140,000, which is what I'm saying. Between 100 to 140,000, I think Bitcoin could easily get to that, right? It's been pretty true. I mean, other than one point right here where the bottom broke and everyone panicked. People are like, oh my God, this, Bitcoin's broken because of this. It's going to fall and we're going to break out a logarithmic growth curve. I mean, no. Just because it breaks out doesn't mean that the whole thing's invalidated, okay? And the stock to flow is the same thing. Stock to flow, I know, is measures differently. It measures according to the circulating supply over the total supply out there. But ultimately, all these metrics basically show they track some kind of scarcity, some kind of moving average, looking at what has happened before. And when you put them together, ultimately, they're all heading in the same spot. Even when Plan B was on Ben's show, and they basically concluded that both models were following in the same trajectory and going to the same place. Corey says, ready for Q4 to be quite profitable. I am too. Only a few NFT projects will be profitable in long run. I mean, a lot of them are profitable right now, but I agree with you, Hellcat, that only certain ones will become true collectible items in the future. Yeah, so I agree with that. Not everything is go hold. Logarithmic growth curve does not factor in available supply at all times and prices. This is important. Yeah, I mean there's a lot of factors at play. It can't factor in a pandemic either or inflation or anything. This is just based on past moving averages and stuff like that. So I get it. Yeah, you're right. Will Solana recover? Yes, that's a silly question. Car NFT should be your first. I agree with that, but I'm not going to be buying a 2007 Kia Sedona NFT. That's for sure. That's for sure. When the stock market crashes and pulls down cryptos, I'm going to buy the dip. How long of a window of opportunity is going to last in your opinion? That's if you're assuming if the stock market crashes, which half the people do not believe is going to happen. Half the people out there, and when I say half the people, I'm referring to like analysts and financial gurus and market economists and all these guys. Half of them will say that, yeah, it's been 12 years. We're going to have some kind of correction. And then the other half are saying, no. When the government keeps pushing more money out, you're not going to have anything come down, right? Everything is being propped up by either loans, like interest-free loans, or more money. So, no, there's not going to be any crash, right? So it really depends on if you actually believe a market correction is coming. If it comes, I do believe it can pull down crypto. But you know what? Crypto will recover just like everything else. With your 50-25-25 model, do you anticipate a 10x by the end of the year cycle? That has nothing to do with anything. 50-25-25% is basically just a good portfolio allocation. But if you're saying, if you follow it, will the whole portfolio go up by 10x? Could be. It really depends on the small caps and mid caps that you hold. And same thing, it also depends on how much Bitcoin goes up, right? But it depends. It depends. LCX exchange? I have no idea what exchange that is. Probably not a good one. Horus. I want to display this channel DCA how transmuted 275 to over 1600. Well, congratulations. I don't know what you mean by display this channel DCA, but I mean congratulations. By following DCA and holding and having patience, you what, 4x your money? 5x your money? Congratulations. Nicole, if you can't find it, then you're not looking hard enough. Do you think Algorand will pump again this year? I think all the good network protocols will pump, and Algorand is in it. I don't talk about them very often, but I think they will, along with Ethereum, Cardano, Binance Coin, Solana, Polkadot, Terra, all these guys, Matic, Cosmos, VeChain, right? I think all of them, and even some of the ones that I don't talk a lot about and I don't support, but you know, even like Tron and ICP and some of these others, they'll probably go up too. Judo Joe Black. In the immortal words of Paris Hilton, stop being poor. Paris Hilton is really into NFTs now, just so you know. And she's a lot less annoying these days. She actually seems like a mature, hot adult. Thanks to you, I bought Solana months ago. Now I'm 4x profit. Congratulations. Is there any project with good fundamentals that hasn't grown yet and can be the next Solana? Well, isn't that the million-dollar question? Yes, there's a lot of them. So I've been sharing with you. I've been doing a lot of videos where I go through the top 100, top 150. So you'll have to rewatch those. And plus, I share with them in Patreon too. So you could also join and look at some of my newsletters within. Hi from Colombia. Thanks for what you do. Appreciate it. That was all an act. Paris Hilton is brilliant. I have no doubt. I think anyone famous really is brilliant. There's no easy path to success. I honestly believe that. Even people that are doing, you know, YouTube channels and they're acting like a total fool, right? The ones that have millions and millions of subscribers and so forth, they know what they're doing. They did the research and they continue to just press on with what they're good at and what their audience likes, right? So no one gets successful through accident, right? You could have one viral video or something like that. I get it. But to keep going and going and going and going, that's not by accident. So all these people, you may love them, you may hate them, but you know, I would argue almost all of them are really, really smart. That's how you know, they got to where they are. Can you talk about Dash and Zcash potential? I don't like either one. I'm nothing against the project. I'm just neutral because they're privacy coins, and they're all going to be delisted from exchanges one after another because regulators want to track transactions. They don't like privacy coins. Do you think BPro is a good protocol? Could it go to 15 cents a cycle? I think it's a good protocol. I like what they're doing. I don't know if they could hit 15 cents. If they catch on fire, they definitely could. Moon River was on fire. You know, part of Moonbeam, part of Kusama. Part of that ecosystem, so pretty good project. No, okay, I don't agree. Agents and managers are not the smart ones. They could hook you up, but you're the ones that's performing, right? I honestly believe that. There's no one successful got there by accident. And there could be some luck, yes, but it's a whole lot of hard work. I'll tell you that. All right, guys. That's pretty much it. Not much going on today. Pretty boring day, but you know what? Could be a good buying day, right? For those of you guys that today's Friday, maybe you got your paycheck or something, you're itching to buy something. Today's not so bad. I mean, there's a lot of red today. Some of my favorites like Terra is down a pretty significant amount. Even Algorand is down a pretty significant amount. So some of these players are down. Solana's down a significant amount. So could be a good buying opportunity. But we'll see what happens this weekend. This weekend could be good. Could follow the previous weekends where we have some pretty good run up. And Bitcoin is still hovering around 48,000. Let's not forget. So it can shoot back to 49, 50,000 in no time. We could see that happen this weekend too. So things could be pretty darn good. But overall, the main theme is you want to stay in. You want to stay in because there are so many good things coming. And just take a look at this. We're following the same footsteps as the last bull run, right? And we're about to enter that blow off top, or maybe I should say, maybe. And if we do, man, that is the time period you don't want to miss out on. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel. No stream tonight, unless something really explosive happens. But I'll see you guys tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right, have a good one, guys.